You first notice them on a street so quiet it almost feels staged. You are 20 years old, broke, forgettable, wearing a cheap suit that doesn't fit your shoulders, and smoking outside a convenience store because there is nowhere else to be. People pass by you like you're part of the wall. Nobody remembers your face. Nobody cares where you're going. You're just another young man in a city full of young men trying not to disappear. Then a black sedan pulls up. The door opens. A man in a dark suit steps out. He does not shout. He does not posture. He does not need to. The shopkeeper lowers his head first. The clerk straightens up. Even the people talking too loudly a second ago suddenly quiet down. That is the first time you understand what real power looks like. It is not noise. It is not anger. It is not a gun waving in the air. Real power is walking into a street and watching the street correct itself around you. A week later, you start running errands for them. First, it seems small. Deliver an envelope, pick up cigarettes, wait outside a restaurant, stand near the door and say nothing. Learn who gets bowed to, learn who never gets looked at for too long, learn which names make a room go still. You tell yourself it is temporary. Just money, just access, just a way to stop feeling invisible. But this is not a side job. It is the first door. Outside that door, you are nobody. Inside it, you get a place, a role, maybe even a family. And in the Yakuza, the most dangerous part is never getting in. It is realizing you no longer belong outside. Level 1, Errand Boy. At the bottom, you're not a member. Not really. You are useful. And that is not the same thing. You carry bags, you deliver cash, you wait in hallways, you fetch food, arrange cars, pass messages, and keep your mouth shut. Most of the time, you are standing outside rooms where decisions are being made by men who barely register that you exist. But they are watching. That is the first lesson. In this world, even when no one is talking to you, you are being measured. Can you stay calm? Can you stay quiet? Can you stay loyal before anyone has even promised you a future? The money is better than anything you have seen before. Not life-changing money, not yet. But enough to make a broke 20-year-old feel chosen. Enough to make you stand a little straighter. Enough to make you think maybe this city finally has a place for you. The danger is invisible at this level. You're not the one making threats. You're not the one collecting debts. You're not important enough to be feared, but you are already learning things you cannot unlearn. Faces, names, locations, routines, secrets. You still think you are standing near the door. What you do not realize is that the door has already started closing behind you. Level 2, Sworn Recruit. At some point, usefulness is no longer enough. If they want you inside, they bring you inside. This is where the fantasy becomes structure. The suits are nicer, the rooms are quieter, the rules become clearer. Respect is not optional. Hierarchy is not suggested. It is the air. You learn who speaks first, who pours the drink, who bows lower, who can make a whole room freeze with one sentence. And for the first time in your life, identity starts to feel expensive. You're no longer just some invisible young man doing favors. You are attached to a name now, a house, a line, a family that is not really family, but expects more from you than family ever could. That feels good at first. It feels like arrival, like significance, like the world finally noticed you. But this level comes with its first real cost. Belonging sounds warm until you realize belonging means ownership. Your time is no longer yours. Your mistakes are no longer private. Your future is no longer open-ended. If someone calls, you answer. If someone sends you, you go. If someone above you is displeased, your feelings do not matter. You wanted a place in the world. Now the world has put a hand on your shoulder and quietly informed you that leaving will not be simple. Level 3, Debt Collector. Now you touch money. Not wages, not salaries, not anything clean enough to call income. You deal with money that arrives late, money that comes wrapped in fear, money pulled from people who know better than to ask what happens if they fall short. This is where you first learn that force is not always physical. Sometimes you sit across from a man in silence and let the silence do the work. Sometimes you stand in the back of a room and let your presence say what your mouth does not need to say. Sometimes you just show up, and that is enough to change the temperature of the conversation. The money gets better here. The clothes fit better. People stop brushing past you like you are invisible. Some start avoiding eye contact altogether. That feels powerful. It is also the moment you cross a line you cannot uncross. Before this, you could still lie to yourself. You could say you were just helping, just observing, just doing what you were told. Now people are afraid of you, not of the men behind you, of you. And once fear starts paying you, part of you begins to like being feared. That is how the machine gets inside. Level 4, Enforcer. This is where your face starts meaning consequences. You are no longer there to wait or carry or remind. You're there to make sure the message lands. Someone stepped out of line. Someone thought they could keep more than they owed. Someone forgot who they were speaking to. Someone needs to become an example. You become the part of the organization people talk about in lowered voices. This level comes with real authority, real threat, real reputation. A room reacts when you enter it. A man watches his words more carefully when he sees you standing there. You no longer borrow fear from the system. You begin generating it yourself. That is intoxicating. It is also where the damage starts sticking to you. Police remember your face now. Rivals hear your name. Formerly private risks become public ones. You're no longer standing near the story. You are in it. And once you are in it, people begin imagining how to end it. Level 5. Lieutenant. At this level, power changes shape. You're not just following orders anymore. You're managing men, younger ones, hungrier ones, sloppier ones. Men who want the respect but have not yet learned the cost of earning it. They work under you, and that sounds like a promotion until you realize that every mistake they make eventually becomes your problem. Someone talks too much, someone drinks too much, someone acts too fast, someone touches money that was never theirs, someone panics when pressure hits. Every small failure below you rises upward like smoke, and you are the one expected to stop the fire before anyone above notices. This is where you stop thinking of power as freedom. Power becomes responsibility with sharper consequences. Yes, you have more money now, more control, more people standing when you enter. But the real change is this. You are no longer judged only by what you do. You are judged by what the men under you do when you are not there. You finally leave the front line. And that is when the real pressure begins. Now you oversee territory, business, relationships, and appearances. You're not just managing men anymore. You are managing order, shops, nightclubs, gambling rooms, protection lines, quiet agreements, small wars that must never look like wars. You sit in better restaurants, drive better cars, wear cleaner suits. You begin looking like a businessman from the outside. That is the point. A system like this survives by looking more respectable than it really is. Violence is expensive. Disorder is messy. The strongest organizations are not loud. They are efficient. At this level, you start understanding that the true job is not domination. It is maintenance. Keep the money flowing, keep your people disciplined, keep your superiors satisfied, keep the police uncertain, keep rivals cautious, keep civilians quiet enough to pretend none of this exists. From a distance, this looks like success, maybe even luxury. A nicer apartment, better food, doors opening faster, people smiling wider. But the closer you get to power, the less sleep you get, because now everyone has a reason to watch you. The police watch you because you matter. Rivals watch you because they want what you control. Men below you watch you because they want your place. Men above you watch you because they do not want you forgetting who gave it to you. The money gets bigger, so does the cage. Level 7. Underboss. This is where the street disappears and politics takes over. You are now close enough to the top to see what keeps the structure alive. It is not just violence, it is balance, favors, timing, old grudges, men smiling across tables while calculating whether they should remove each other next month. The higher you rise, the less anything is personal. Friendship becomes alignment, loyalty becomes leverage, respect becomes a currency that can vanish overnight if the wrong person senses weakness. You speak less at this level, not because you know less, but because every sentence has weight now. One promise changes alliances. One insult starts a war. One display of softness invites ambition. One display of strength creates fear inside your own house. This is also where paranoia becomes permanent. Phones are risky. Rooms matter. Drivers matter. Who pours the drink matters. Who knows your route matters. A careless word is no longer embarrassing. It is strategic damage. You wanted to matter. Now you matter so much that your own life stops feeling like it belongs to you. The closer you get to the center, the less human you become. You become a position. And positions do not get to relax. Level 8. Boss. At the top, everything finally becomes quiet. Too quiet. No one interrupts you. No one raises their voice at you. No one makes you wait. Men bend, rooms pause, decisions spread outward from your smallest gestures. You no longer handle money directly. You no longer go collect, threaten, or prove anything in person. You just decide. Others move. From the outside, this looks like the end of the climb. It is not. It is the most expensive prison in the entire system, because now the machine depends on you continuing to be what it needs: calm, hard, predictable, feared. Never sentimental at the wrong time, never merciful without purpose, never weak in public, never uncertain in front of men who would turn your hesitation into an opportunity. At the bottom, you feared being ignored. At the top, you fear being replaced. You have the highest status, the best suits, the deepest rooms, the strongest protection. You also have no ordinary life left to return to, no real friends, only interests, no casual conversations, only implications, no restful sleep, only temporary exhaustion, no retirement plan, only decline, betrayal, prison, or death disguised as timing. This is the final lesson of the Yakuza. It never gave you freedom. It gave you structure, identity, money, respect, fear, a name people remember, and then it turned all of those things into walls. Years ago, you thought you were chasing recognition. A suit, a car, a room where people listened, a street where heads lowered before you passed. You thought that was what victory looked like. Now you know better. You did not climb into freedom. You climbed into a machine. It gave you meaning when you felt invisible. It gave you belonging when you felt disposable. It gave you power when you had none. And then, slowly, level by level, it replaced your life with a role. The broke young man outside the convenience store is gone. The one who thought he was stepping toward significance is gone. What remains is the position, the image, the burden, the name others fear saying too casually. And one day, another young man will be standing under a flickering light in a suit that does not fit, smoking because he has nowhere else to be. He will see a black sedan pull up. He will see a whole street go quiet. And he will think that is the moment the world finally decides to notice him. He will not understand that he is not being invited into a family. He is being selected by a system, a quiet one, a polished one, a disciplined one, a machine that always needs another life to feed on, and that is your life as every rank in the Yakuza.